Coming up on this episode of Flirtations, it's part 2 of our conversation with Sadie Marie as we ask the question, is there life after love? Oh, flirty, is there ever? In this episode, we talk about dating without a long-term relationship in mind, including how to build a roster. We also cover flirting strategies, how to meet singles in real life, and the experience of dating younger men. Some of y'all, stay tuned. What works, what doesn't, and what to keep in mind. Or maybe after a LTR, you're not feeling interested in anyone. We got you there as we'll talk about dating breaks and how to stay hopeful in dating, even when it feels like nothing is working. Finally, we come full circle back to the topic of emotional availability, and we explore the powerful shift of decentering romantic love so you can create a fulfilling life that doesn't revolve solely around romantic partners. So, whether you're getting back out there, exploring dating, or just figuring out what you want next, this episode is for you. Let's do this, Flirties, part 2 incoming.
I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. Hello, my name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and a gay Libra. Everyone has an inner flirt.
Hey, flirty.
Live, laugh, flirt.
Work the flirt.
Work the flirt. Delulu is the Salulu. Expert on the flirt.
Hey, flirty. There's always another flirt.
Everyone has an inner flirt. Get out of your head and into the flirt.
Flirties, back for part 2 of our conversation. Is there life after love, dating after divorce, or a long-term relationship? Is Sadie Marie, host of Sadie's Divorced and Happy podcast and founder of the Happily Divorced Club. We're rolling. More questions coming. Hey, Sadie.
Oh, I've been having so much fun with Benjamin, listener. He is adorable and darling. I can see why you love his podcast, for real.
Well, thank you for that. This has been so much fun recording with you. Really excited for part 2. In part 1, my God, what all did we talk about? We talked about some ghosting, the state of dating in 2025.
How you can be showing up for yourself differently.
Yes.
Around dating.
A safety support squad.
Support squad all the way.
And that we both, I think, really had this moment of rebirth, of just finding ourselves in brand new ways after our relationships. You and
the transformation.
Yes. Going through a divorce and me breaking off an engagement. So, yeah.
It's a layered chat
there. Oh my gosh.
Chat, yeah.
It was really good. If you haven't checked out part 1, definitely you should go do that. All right. So part 2, this is where we're going to get started for part 2, dating after divorce. And there's some questions that came through here about dating as a single parent as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what have been some of your dating experiences, or those of people you've worked with in the club?
Well, I mean, we all have had the adventures. I will say, after divorce, I was 46 and I was experiencing my sexual surge. It was quite the time to be divorced because, again, I wasn't seeking a traditional relationship. Dating apps were all new to me.
Yeah.
I had money to spend on traveling, so I did a lot of solo trips, using the apps, meeting people. That's where I really leaned into the millennial men, which I talked about in episode 1, and how I feel, in my opinion, that they are more emotionally available than, say, Gen X men. Just, saying. And so for me, dating after divorce initially was this exciting, delicious experience where I was learning so much about myself and meeting all these people and having great sex. And then after about 2-3 years of that, right, I would say when the pandemic happened, and we were all stuck at home, and I was literally, I was spending my time, I was stacking video dates. I had one night, I swear to God, I didn't have my kids. I had 14 video dates.
Wow.
Back. Oh, it's pandemic. I couldn't work. I'm a photographer. I literally couldn't work.
Right.
So, I mean, I wasn't being very constructive. I was having fun. So, I had initially, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And now 6 years in, I'm like, I kind of want a little more than that.
Okay.
So I'm navigating, what does it mean now? What kind of relationship am I wanting? So I am trying to find clarity to that. I'm curious if the listener, he or she is divorced if they know exactly what they want. And if you know what you want, I didn't talk about this in episode 1. What are your boundaries? Because one thing I have learned, maybe you've learned this in dating now, Benjamin, is if I don't even know what my boundaries are when I'm dating, am I in for a doozy? Like, for real.
Yeah.
And if I even know what they are, but I'm not honoring them, that means nobody else is going to honor them.
No.
And then I'm really in a mess, right? So that is one thing I have learned since my divorce is what are my boundaries and how am I sticking to them? Because sometimes I have slipped. I have fallen off the boundary wagon, and that is not cute. Team. For the single mom or the single dad, that is a trickier one because I co-parent. So I have my kids 50% of the time.
Okay.
So I do have time and space to travel and things like that. I guess to the single mom or single dad, like who in your world, we talked about a support squad, who's part of your squad that knows you need to have a life outside of your kids? And how can that person or those people help you? I think sometimes we just need to ask for more help.
Yeah.
I know hands down, if I didn't have my co-parent to help with my kids, I have friends that would watch my kids so I could go on a date. But that is trickier. That is trickier. And I honor that challenge. I wish I had like a great solution.
Well, let's
have your support squad big time.
Yeah. And I got a couple follow-up questions. So how are you maybe setting up video dates? How were you? I love the solo travel idea. How were you mostly meeting potential dates through the apps or other ways?
Oh, I have garnered mastery off of these apps. Hinge, you can travel on Hinge for free.
Yes.
Did you know that? You knew that. See, not everybody knows that you can set on Hinge yourself to any city. You don't have to pay extra. Unlike Bumble and Tinder, you have to pay more.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Just do it on Hinge.
Just do it on Hinge.
Free.
Okay.
I'm a frugal Minnesotan. So, the best city I've discovered for anybody who identifies as a cis female? Denver. Find a city where there are less of the gender that you're attracted to. So if you like ladies, look for a city that has less ladies. If you, or has more ladies than men, excuse me. For me, obviously, I identify more, even though I did have my bi-curious moment.
Yes.
After divorce. That has passed me by. The ghosting kind of... I talked about that, I think, in episode 1.
That turned you straight again?
That turned me straight again. When the female therapist ghosted me, I'm like, I don't think so. I'm going to just stick with the dudes. But Denver, I will tell you, is a magical place because there are so many thirsty, cute, fit, nice, employed men there.
We
Solo
love that.
trip.
Yeah.
Denver.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so post-divorce was, because coming back to the why of it all, sort of what are you looking to get? Why are you dating? Why are you making connections? And it sounds like you were in more of that, I don't know, casual isn't even...
Fun and games. I kind of dated like a dude initially. And I mean that in like the most respectful way. It was just fun. It was like, ooh, I'm going to have some fun. I had my roster.
Okay.
And I had men, honest to God, I did podcast episodes about this. I called them real hometown visits. The Bachelor and the Bachelorette, they have those 4 hometown visits. Well, honey, I had real ones after divorce and they were fun. I mean, I had guys flying in from all these, I literally would stack hometown visits. I would stack them. Be like, okay, he's departing at this time. So this person could fly in. I swear to God, I did this for
Sadie, I have so many questions.
It was so fun. It was so fun until it wasn't. Until I wanted more, and then I'm like, do I really want to clean my house? I'm good.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, for a good 2 years, I'm like, okay, Atlanta, New York, DC, Chicago.
I mean,
line them up.
Coming back to boundaries and expectations, some too. Just how did you manage your time, and did you have any anxiety?
Well, I didn't have a podcast. So
okay. I
know I've shared with the listener. I have a podcast, and currently a very busy life with my day job as a photographer, but time management has never been an issue for me.
Okay.
I'm very good with it. So if you are just getting divorced, here's the deal. You were married for how long? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You're allowed to have fun on your terms as long as you're being respectful. I never led people on. I was always upfront that I was non-monogamous, that I was dating other people. I was not manipulating people. Now, granted, I had a roster, but it wasn't something I was lying about or deceiving anyone about.
Right.
You know, I'd even ask the men I was dating, so like, how's your roster? I mean, I was really direct, and they'd look at me like, she knows.
She knows.
She knows. How does she know? Like, because I'm dating like a dude. I'm like you. So
Did you have any anxiety in dating that way?
No.
No? Okay.
No, because I had no skin in the game. Here's the thing. I wasn't looking for deep connection. I wasn't looking for, someone to know me on a deeper level. The anxiety has only come for me is when I'm wanting more than just fun.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you can only be who you are. And I don't think I could date like that anymore, even though part of me wishes I could because it was easier. I just don't have it in me. It was a phase. Some people, it's their lifestyle. Again, live your life, mind your business. It's not a lifestyle for me, but I definitely enjoyed it for a season or two or three after divorce. Or three.
How, for the flirties that are dating that are like, oop, maybe I'm very much in that and I'm excited and I'm getting some ideas. And then there's going to be some flirties listening. They're like, ooh, how do I actually not date that person?
Yeah.
Is there a way, regardless of gender, to know, like, maybe are you on someone's roster if they're not being so forthcoming?
I mean, how much I could generalize. Should I generalize right now?
Yes, please.
Okay. If someone starts a text with, hey, beautiful.
Oh.
Hey, gorgeous. I'm pretty sure I know what team they're on. You know what I mean?
Is that because they can copy paste because they're not using your name?
Yeah. Or if you get a good morning, morning, beautiful.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
If you're in a relationship with that person.
Yeah. The level of what they're investing, the level of investment. It's pretty much a true tale story, right? I mean, but at the time I'm like, yeah, hey, sexy. Because I didn't care.
You didn't care.
I did not care. Now I see that I'm like, yeah, bye. Next. Bye. I'm good. I don't have time for you. But again, like that's where I was. That's where that person is. Either you want it or you don't. Either it's for you or it's not. You don't have to judge it. You can take it or you can leave it. Right?
Yeah, as we were talking about in part 1 about not taking things so personally.
No, it's not about me. Where he says, hey, gorgeous. It's about me if I choose to engage.
Right. And maybe that compliment feels a little good. I mean,
I know I look good for 51, honey.
That might be where you're at and having some fun as well.
Yeah. I needed a lot of that. After my divorce, I was and this is a universal experience. Like I was special. I was pretty starved for attention. I was pretty starved for knowing that I was sexually attractive to a man. Now I know, I'm going to say something. May I say a swear? May I say that?
Yes.
Okay. I know how fuckable I am.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I am. I know it. I've had a lot of affirmation. Now I'd like to know how lovable I am. Now that starts from within. From within, right?
Okay.
And that's my journey. But also I would like to receive love. And it's not going to be from someone who starts a text in the morning with, hey, beautiful. And that's like, I know. And now I'm like, oh, that's cute, but I'll just leave that alone. Yeah, I'm good.
This is, I mean, a really helpful insight and perspective for me to have because I'm a gay guy who's has not been married before.
Yeah.
So my dating experiences and just relationship experience is going to be, there's some similarities, but also a lot of differences. And I think you're speaking to, because I've worked with some divorced lady flirties who shared this, exactly what you just said, where they felt alone in their marriges.
Yeah, you don't feel seen.
No.
You don't feel like a sexual being.
No.
That's why sex is so good after divorce, because you're just ready. You're just ready for it. And plus women, we have this sexual surge. Our body's like, all right, if you want to procreate, now's your last chance. So we want it, a lot of it. I mean, I've had significantly younger men tell me that my sex drive is higher than theirs. And I'm like, really? Ooh. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
It's kind of funny. Kind of cute.
It, Sadie. I love
Get
that.
it, so right? I know. I got a lot. I got a lot first couple of years. It's kind of a blur. But anyway.
What were some of your flirting strategies on the apps, right? So to then get the video date or plan the video date. Yeah. What were some of those conversations like?
Back when I was at that Date Like a Dude, or now?
Yeah, back then.
Okay, back then. I'm okay. I'm going to own it. It's kind of like a game. It's like a game.
Okay.
How do you get someone's attention? How does a woman get a man's attention? Men are very visual.
Yes, they are. Yes.
So I would send not an appropriate photo, but I'd send like kind of a spicy photo and a spicy little outfit, or we'd have a video chat and I'd wear a spicy little outfit. I mean, I had my divorce diet. I'd lost 30 pounds after my divorce. I looked totally different than when I was married. So, I kind of played the game. Now, is that like a lot of depth to that? No, not at all. Was it fun?
Was it fun? Yeah.
Totally. Do I need to keep doing it? Not at all. It's just where I was. So, and that's like just so common. Again, it's not like I'm like doing something unique. But yeah, I mean, I kind of played that game. Now I think flirting for me is more affirmations, like, oh wow, I really appreciate this about you, or I think you're really great at this, or I loved it when you asked me this question. I love telling men that I like it when they ask me a question, because then if they like me, what are they going to do? They're going to ask me more questions.
Okay. Absolutely.
So now it has a lot more depth than, what I'm flirting with.
Yeah. And what's your experience been like dating younger guys? You say they're
so adorable.
Say they're more emotionally available.
They are, because they are. My experience is younger men see me as, I've lived more life than they have. So they have curiosity about my opinion, what I think about different things. Of course, around sexuality, they have a lot of curiosity about that. And they take me more seriously.
Okay.
I have like some authority.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially because I'm a business owner. So if he's an entrepreneur, we can talk a lot about business, because I've been doing it a decade plus longer than he has. So I have something to offer him.
Yeah.
I'm valuable. There's a lot less mansplaining with younger men.
Love that. And the dynamics, do they more pursue you? Like, are they planning dates? How are those dynamics, shaping out or looking like? Whatever. How do those look?
Well, again, it depends on what the intention is. So if I want to treat it more like a relationship, I let the man do the seeking, because I've learned that if a man isn't choosing you, he's not for you. So if I want more of a substance to the connection, then I go more into my quote feminine energy, and I let the man pursue.
Okay.
Regardless of age. Now, if I'm just looking for more of a playful, fun, naughty, delicious experience, like a cougar cub situation, I don't mean that inappropriately, but like if I date a mid-30s guy, and I'm just seeing it like, this is just going to be spicy fun for me, well, then I'll do whatever I want to do, because I'm not really caring how long the connection lasts.
Okay.
Or doesn't.
That's helpful. And I'm curious, like, if I will, because I'm going to be 40 this year, if I'll go for the younger guy, or I don't know.
I'm curious for you.
I'm really curious as well. I don't know how that's gonna turn out, but I don't have really an expectation. Like, I have a sort of age range that I'm looking at, but I don't. I mean, I would be open going out with someone in their later 20s. I mean, that's only about 10 years away from me, so I don't feel like that's a huge.
The rule gap I've been told by dating coaches I've interviewed is, if you want more of a substance, 10 years either way. So 10 years younger, 10 years older should be the limit. And if you don't care, then whatever you feel is appropriate. But I do, like, for me, it has kind of like 30, 35 or older. I can't date a 20 something. That's just weird for me. That's just like, that's too much. Like, anyway, that's too much. That's too, what's that movie, Mrs. Robinson?
Yeah. The Graduate.
The Graduate. That's too much for me.
Yeah. I could not date someone that just graduated from college. That would be that's not.
No. I can admire him from afar. And that's it. Yeah.
Looking good, but
you're cute.
Smell
you're
you later.
Adorable, but don't need to see you naked. Very good, thank you. Yeah.
This is so interesting, because I had very much the opposite experience when I broke off my engagement and left my long-term relationship, where I went into this phase of nobody talk to me, don't touch me. Like I went a complete 180 in the other direction.
Okay. Yeah.
I just,
it is interesting. And that is very common too. I mean, I have a lot of followers, listeners who are divorced, want nothing. One of my best friends has been divorced 3 years. She has no interest in dating, like negative.
Oh my God,
I think that's great.
So
sometimes I wish that was me. I'm like, how did you do that? Is there a switch I can just flip? But yeah, that's just where she's at.
It comes back to what we were talking about a lot in part 1 of knowing yourself and just stepping into your own authenticity. And after that relationship ended, I did download the apps I downloaded Tinder for the first time. And I could instantly tell, talking about listening to your body and your intuition, I was not ready. And I just, beyond just dating, I wasn't ready to just give someone else that much time and attention. Like I was like, oh my, like I can do whatever I want. I can like watch whatever movies I want. Like there was so much that we lacked, I think, compatibility on. And so there were many things for years that I never did, or I had to find little bits of time to do all by myself. And that was lonely because I wanted to do those things with my partner, with my person. And now I didn't have to ask someone permission or,
you had freedom.
Someone else's schedule. I was very much in that space.
You loved your freedom. Yeah.
Of freedom. And it felt
wonderful thing.
Felt good. All right. Sadie, how about, what should we talk about next?
Well, you had asked about fun places to meet people.
Yeah.
And you had also, and one of your questions was around attachment styles. Now, those are very different topics, but I remember both of those. We haven't really touched on either. What should we talk about next?
Let's talk about where to meet some singles. Yeah.
Okay. I like that you have a juice box. I'm like, gosh, I wish I had a juice. I wish I could be twinning with Benjamin right now and sipping from my juice box.
I love a juice box. It's just enough. It's nostalgic, you know?
Oh my gosh. I feel like you should have a boom box. There's a Capri Sun, man.
Oh my God. The Capri Sun, the high C. Remember some Tang?
Oh yeah.
God.
Got the Tang. Yep.
So
I had the camping, a lot of Tang when I was camping. Yeah.
How did they get it so orange?
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of scary, right? Kind of scary.
Dust from Mars. That's
gosh.
All natural.
So one thought that I had around, we talked about being, mindful around dating someone who's more emotionally available. And I had some nuggets on that in the first part. But one of my most favorite places to go on a date with a guy is a museum. There are so many museums, depending what city, like say you live in Chicago or New York, like go to a museum because you can start talking about art with somebody. That's very organic. And, again, in major cities like that, there's so many museums. You can have a membership. There are special events around museums. All of that, I think, is a great way to meet people. I put down the airport. I mean, everybody's at the airport.
I've made that video, flirting at the airport.
Yeah. Shooting your shot at the airport. Oh my gosh. I mean, and different cities that you're in. I mean, that you could just literally go to the airport.
Yeah.
Spend time there. I have actually met people from a dating app, and had our first date at the airport.
Oh,
That's another story. I know. Again, think about things you love to do, think about things you want to learn how to do. Like maybe there's a cooking class, a sushi class.
Yeah.
If you own a dog, go to the dog park. Farmers markets. Oh my gosh! In the spring and summer, everybody's at the farmers market, or the people who are selling. There's so many good-looking people selling the merchandise. See, his eyebrow went up, listener. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I photograph conferences all the time. I mean, I'm on the job, but I'm like, oh my God, he's good looking. Oh my God, he's good looking. Oh my God, go to the hotel. Okay, lean in because this is one of my best tips ever.
Yes,
find out where these conferences are. They're all over the city in hotels, and they have social hours all the time. And then after the conference, everybody goes to the bar to hang out.
Yeah.
There are so many people to meet at these conferences, I'm just saying, just make sure they're not married if you care about that. Yeah. Networking groups. I used to do Meetup before I started my Happily Divorced Club. I used to do Meetup events in different cities for divorced singles. You can find anything on meetup.com and it's free. You can create your own meetup. Like if you like bowling, create a bowling league. If you, again, if you like hiking or biking, like create it and see who comes to it.
Yeah.
Those are some
These
of my
are
ideas.
all.
Again, go to Denver and go to Denver.
Download Hinge and travel.
And go to Denver and find the cities that have, don't go to DC. There's more women than men there. I don't recommend DC. Go to like somewhere like LA. I will say, I've been shocked at what people in LA are willing to do for a nice person.
Ooh,
it's incredible. I'm a nice Midwestern woman. I actually pay attention to you and ask you questions.
Yeah.
Men will do a lot for that. I'm not kidding, Benjamin.
I'm a nice Southern boy.
See? You have good manners.
Yes.
Right? Exactly.
I very much do.
People in LA are starved. They would love you there. Oh my gosh, you'd be so popular.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be there this month. And so I'll test the waters.
Do a podcast event. You should do a meetup or something. Create a meetup group.
It's an idea. It's a very strong thought.
You should.
But these are really good ideas to meet people. I love the networking. Anything that is sort of like a happy hour-ish, business-y related, something like that. Something where it's a kind of career education focused, and then these other spaces where it's just you living your life. Like I feel like you've got to say yes to yourself and give yourself opportunities so that other people can potentially say yes to you. And then detach yourself from those expectations. Like, if you go to, the hotel bar or something like that, may you encounter a gentleman or somebody that only wants to, hang out later in the hotel room.
Right.
Possibly.
Of course.
But that's not going to be everybody.
Right. Right. And sometimes we just need to flirt a little bit.
Yes.
This is about flirting. Call people flirties. It's a flirt cast.
It is indeed a flirt cast.
Harmless flirting is just fine. Yeah.
Exactly. Like the people you're going to go on dates with, because I know y'all are frustrated with the apps and they can be very overwhelming at times, especially if you feel like you've exhausted through all your matches. I hear that. And now you're like, oh, I got to change my parameters or my search results or my age range or my distance or something like that. Just live your life and do some things that you really want to do. Yeah. And go back to your, call up your support squad.
Yes. On a trip with your support squad.
Yes. That's a good one. I want to ask you this one now because I feel like this has been part of my dating experience recently, where this flirty says they're just uninterested in everyone, right? No one is grabbing their attention. Yeah,
I've been there. Not inspired.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that means you shouldn't be dating right now. I think it means you're needing a break.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. That's a dating strategy I've been really using recently is oftentimes fine line between forcing and trying. And I used to force myself to go out, to talk to the person, to pursue the connection that I knew just wasn't really for me because I just wanted to be picked, chosen, liked, right? And it's okay. I think sometimes we feel like that pressure we were talking about in part one that we have to always be dating, or if we're not always dating, like the relationship won't come or it won't happen. So if we're trying, even if we're forcing ourselves to try, at least like we kind of got, a foot in the game, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's on a psychological level, it makes us feel like something can come of it if we're actually in the game. Yeah. But if you show up and you don't have your head in the game as an athlete, right? If you show up and you don't have your head in the game, are you going to have a good game? Probably not.
Yeah.
You're going to have a crummy game.
There's this analogy I heard recently from a guest that was on Flirtations. I'm going to try my best not to completely ruin it. But she was talking about sometimes the thing you want or desire, you actually have to stay still for it. Because if you're always running, if you're always moving, if you're always chasing well, what you seek, what you desire, what you want can't find you, can't chase you. So sometimes that may mean taking the break, staying still in a sense when it comes to dating, focusing on yourself, your life, your friendships, your support squad, your family, if you've got kids, and know that it's okay, right? You're not going to miss out just because you may be taking a break. But yeah, if you're totally uninterested in literally everybody, I would say you're probably in just complete burnout when it comes to dating.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. And I think also just to reinforce that dating isn't going anywhere.
No.
These dating apps aren't going anywhere. They're always going to be there in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
So that whole fear of missing out that's something you need to work out internally.
Yeah.
That's because the dating apps aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. And check out maybe, is it Flirtini 8? I think it is. I did a whole Flirtini, a mini episode all about FOMO, the fear of missing out, because that is what really drove a lot of my dating experiences for a long time. Yeah.
Right. And I think also sometimes we use those apps, like any type of app, to manage stress or to stimulate us or to give us a dopamine hit. So if you find, like, why are you going to the app?
Yeah.
What are you actually wanting, needing?
Yeah.
And what else can give you that in a more affirming, healthy way?
Absolutely. Yeah. Being curious about that, what comes up for you. And it may be, who knows? You just need to go on a walk or like nourish yourself with something, have some coffee, some tea, a night out, a good meal. Who knows? It could be one of many things.
Buy a new vibrator, man.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Here, I said,
you need some stimulation.
Have some tea. What? That was a terrible suggestion.
I mean, I like tea, but sometimes I need something stronger.
Sometimes you need something.
Come on. We all have needs.
I'm thinking of that episode of Sex and the City now where Samantha, did you see?
I'm sure I did. She had the most fun.
God.
She had the most fun. It wasn't Carrie had the most fun. It was Samantha.
Where it was her. She went to Sharper Image and got the neck massager. That was her. That was her vibrator. Then it broke, and so she went back, and all these other women were in the neck massager section, and she was basically giving them vibrating tips of like, oh no, not that one. Oop, nope, not that one.
Oh, that's great.
One.
Oh, that's great.
And they're all in Sharper Image looking for neck massager.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right, Sadie, I'm going to ask you one more question here as we talked about just emotional intelligence, emotional availability in part one. I wanted to come back to that a second time, coming full circle after we've completed both parts of the conversation today, because this question came through a few times where some of the daters, they're losing hope that there's just, is there anyone out there that is going to be able to just date me? Yeah.
I hear that. I feel that. I have friends in my life that have never been married. And so there's that mystery around marriage and what that feels like. And marriage can be an incredible experience, obviously. Hope. That is such a layered question. I guess how I would answer that is, what would it mean for you if you don't have this outcome that you think you're going to have? I mean, again, I'm almost 52 years old. Has my life gone the way I thought it would? Not really. Am I happy? Yeah. Do I have love in my life? Absolutely. Did you ever see the movie with Diane Lane, Under the Tuscan Sun? It's like one of the best life after divorce movies ever.
Yeah.
So if you've seen that movie, listener and Benjamin, you remember the scene where Diane Lane is with her Italian friend, and he says, look, you actually got the life you wanted because here's the wedding and here's the baby. And, they're not her baby. It's not her wedding, but it's her community.
Yeah.
It's the people who matter the most to her experiencing those things. And I think sometimes we forget how interconnected we are. We live these insular lives.
Yeah.
And we forget that there's so much rich connection.
Yeah.
And so I guess I say to the listener who feels hopeless, life is, I know romantic love it seems so amazing.
Yeah.
But life is bigger than romantic love. And your life is amazing with or without romantic love because you decide it is, not somebody else, not Benjamin, not this culture we live in. You decide. You get to decide what makes your life awesome.
Yeah.
And so life after divorce for me has been powerful that way because I have learned that marriage didn't make my life awesome. It made it kind of hard, you know? And so there isn't a sure thing about any of this.
Right.
You know, we get up every morning and we show up in our lives and we do these different things to lead us to something that we desire. And whether there's romantic love or platonic love, your life gets to be like Diane Lane's character, exactly what you want it to be. It's just how you see it. It's your perception.
Yeah.
So don't limit your life. Please don't limit your life around romantic love.
Yeah.
Because life is so much more than that. Watch that movie if you haven't yet. It's a good reminder.
That's one I need to go back and re-watch. I mean, just not
it's
only
a powerful scene. It's a real powerful scene.
The themes and the story, but the scenery and just my God.
And the
so
food.
Beautiful. Yes.
The food. My God. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just that was beautiful. Thank you so much because it's really.
I mean, I feel that like that's not that's me feeling that for me, for you, for your listener, for my listeners. Because, gosh, when we just limit our lives on romantic love, that's so unfortunate. Life is so much bigger, bigger, and love is big.
Yeah.
Love is big.
It really
love is big. Yeah.
I feel like I've incorporated a lot of that perspective into my life recently in these last few years. Like you were asking me in part one about how my life has changed starting the podcast. And I shared a little bit about my experience there. And even though I am single, I don't have the relationship, which sometimes I'm in fairly deep conflict with doing this work. I wonder, do I lack legitimacy or do I lack a point of view? Do I, know, how can I reliably guide people to the relationship that I don't currently have myself? And so sometimes I sit with that and it's uncomfortable. But I come at it from this place of curiosity, of non-judgment, of not criticizing myself, because in the process, what I'm doing is I keep showing up for myself. I keep saying yes to myself. I keep creating relationships and friendships that are meaningful. And as long as I create this life that I really am excited to live every day, which has not been the case for me for a long time, I don't know how I can go wrong. Even though I'm single today, I don't think I will be forever. I really don't. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep living a life that just feels really fulfilling to me.
And I think, singlehood, again, kind of like divorce, there's so much taboo. There's so much connotation to that. You know how many I'm going to say that again. Hi. Got a little tongue-tied because I got excited. I got excited about the point I'm going to make. Do you know how many married people right now would like to be single?
Single.
A lot.
A lot.
So many.
Yeah.
Just tip on over to my page and read my comments sometimes. They're like, counting the days till they're divorced. So my point is, we think something is going to lead to something when really that might not be the case. So instead, like you just said so beautifully, you enjoy your own company, don't you?
I do.
And
really
that
do.
takes practice.
Yeah.
But once you get that down, it just changes everything. And you don't need to outsource your happiness so much because you enjoy your own company. I mean, I was supposed to have it's my birthday tomorrow, P.S. And
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Oof. And I was supposed to have a lover come and see me this coming weekend for a little birthday fun. And he is not coming. And that is a longer story. And normally I'd be sad about that, but it was my choice for him to not come because of A, B, and C. And what makes it okay even more than A, B, and C is that I'm going to just enjoy having my own company. Like, oh God, I can clean this closet now. Literally, I'm like, I can clean the fridge and I'm a little sad about it, but I know that there are more of this person out in the world.
Yes.
Who's going to treat me better.
Yes.
And I'm cool for the weekend to just be by myself or be with friends or whatever I choose to do with my free time now versus being in a situation where I don't feel valued. Ugh.
No,
Oof.
thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you. So getting to this place is so freeing. Talking about freedom, that it's like, yeah, I might not have that again. I might not have that again. What does that mean? That just means I might not have that again. That's what it means.
Right.
And that's okay. It really is.
Yeah. Sadie, thank you
Benjamin.
so freaking much. We
Such a fun
teased
chat.
your club and your podcast in part 1, but we're going to do it again here in part 2.
Oh my gosh.
Where can they listen and find you?
Yes. And I will say that my listeners aren't just divorced. They are single, they are married. Because
Yep.
I talk about juicy things like kink and non-monogamy and open relationships and all these things around dating, outside of the box.
Okay.
And they can listen in to my podcast on any podcast platform, Sadie's Divorced and Happy. They can listen for free on my website, divorcedandhappy.net. And then my Happily Divorced Club is for anyone who is going through a divorce, who has been through a divorce, wants more intimate community. We have lots of virtual events. We have a special podcast series all about the glow up after divorce with some incredible mentors and coaches. And we have some great digital products. We're planning a cruise this coming October. I know. That's going to be fun. So a lot going on in the Happily Divorced Club, and membership is only $10 a month or $99 for the year. And you can learn more about the club at divorcedandhappy.net. Or you can find me on social media at Sadie's Divorced and Happy and DM me.
Fantastic.
My Instagram page is very active. I have a great community there, over 100,000 followers.
And
so
I love your Instagram page. That's how I initially found you.
Yes.
I will have all your links to your Instagram, the club, the podcast in the show notes for this episode, as well as part 1. Sadie Marie, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Such a treat. Thank you.
All right, Flirties, that's a wrap on this 2-part episode of Flirtations, the life after love episode, going through a divorce, somewhere in that process, coming out of a long-term relationship, maybe that lasted years, multiple years, decades. Where do you begin with dating? How does all of this work? The dating landscape has changed since perhaps the last time you were out there flirting and dating. Yes, I hope you really enjoyed this episode, found it helpful. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in, for streaming. Thank you to Sadie Marie, our guest, for this conversation, this 2-part episode. Really, really thrilled to have her on and create this 2-parter. I'd love for you to show her some love over on our socials and her club, listening to the podcast. If you feel like Sadie could be a good support for you, yes, please check her out. Her group is amazing. I've gotten a little glimpse into it. Yeah, she told me some more about it off recording, and it just all sounds incredible. So definitely recommend you checking out Sadie. That'll be all for me, officially signing off here at Flirt Headquarters. My name is Benjamin. I'm the Flirt Coach and Gay Libra Flirty. Happy flirting.